This is a video on Octave basics. So first open the terminal, Control Alt T. I'll make it a full screen. Okay, now type Octave. Octave prompt opens. Now type in let's create a matrix name is A is equal to, enter a row 1 comma 2 comma 3. If you want, you can give a comma or you can just give a space, it doesn't matter. Semicolon to change the row. So in row 2 I have 12, 13 and 67. That's my matrix. If I don't put a semicolon, then this matrix will be displayed. It's displayed here. Now if I want to access an element, say 13, what I do is I enter the coordinates in parentheses. So it is a, or let me put it in b is equal to a, and coordinates of 13 are second row second column. So it is 2 comma 2, and I will put a semicolon here. So b is not displayed, but when I type in b, I get b is equal to 13. Now one thing to remember is that in Octave the index starts from 1 and not 0. And okay, so moving on, the next thing is, whatever we want to access all the elements of a particular row in that case, or a particular column in that case, what we can do is we can type b is equal to a. If you want the elements of the first column and not other elements, then what we will do is we'll write all element of all the rows comma element of first column. So for all the rows we type in a colon, okay, and then semicolon, type in b, sorry that was a mistake, b, and I get 112. Similarly, if I want to access all the elements of the second row, it's very simple, just type in b is equal to a, the row is 2 and the column is all the columns, and I'll not put a semicolon, so it's displayed b is equal to 12, 13, 67. Okay, next, what if we want to append another column or append another row to the given matrix? We can do that by a is equal to, when we have to create a matrix or assign a matrix, we use the square brackets. Okay, so we are appending a column to the existing matrix, and this column will be appended at the right side or at the end. So we'll write it a comma, because it's a column. Whenever you have to add a column, or uh, whenever you want to deal with columns, you use comma. Whenever you want to deal with rows, you use semicolon. So a comma, like I'll enter 111 comma, sorry, semicolon 222, because it's a column. So that done, let's press enter, and 111222 has been added to the matrix A. Okay, next, if we want this matrix in a vector form, in a column vector form, what we can do is we can just type C is equal to A and then colon, and then I get a vector, a column vector from the matrix. Okay, if we want to concatenate two matrices into one, so I'll have to create another matrix. B is equal to, since A is a 2 by 4, so B must be a 2 by 4. So 1 2 3 4 7 8 9 0. Okay, so I've got my B, I've got my A, I have to concatenate them. So I'll just write C is equal to A comma B. Now what this did is it added the second matrix as a column, not as a row. I mean, what I mean by column is it added on the right side. Now I said that whenever we put comma, it does operations on columns. So if we want operations on rows, like if we want the second matrix to act like a the rows of the second matrix becomes the third row and the fourth row of the resulting matrix, then we just have to replace the comma with a semicolon and it's done. Okay, so yeah, another thing is the end. Like if we want to access the element a is equal to a from one position from an index to the last position, then we can use the size to get the size and then put that size in it. But okay, so before this I need to tell you something. Like if we want to access an element from one index to another, all the elements that lie between the two index, then what we will have to do is write a, or you can store it in another variable. I'll say x is equal to a. Take all the rows, I take all the rows and columns. Which columns? Column from 1 to 3. So 1 2 3, and I get the elements from 1 2 3 columns and elements of all the rows. Okay, if I want to access till the last, then I don't have to get the size and then write the size. I can just write end here and it will do the job. So that's all for this.